Hello everyone, Chris Buick here once again for UK Film Review, and this week I'm here to tell you all about the indie feature film Love Loaded, which was written and directed by Jan Miller Corran. So to set the scene, we are in October 1958, downtown Los Angeles at the swanky Club Figaro, where we are introduced to a beautiful songstress on stage by the name of Didi Scanlon, who is currently wowing the crowd with her amazing, talented voice. Amongst the crowd is her husband, Jack, played by Adam Huss. He is, within the community, a very well-renowned surgeon, on his way to become a very well-renowned alcoholic. And dotted amongst are the rest of the crowd who watch on in awe. So, we are in the openings of what is essentially a brilliant, meticulous homage to the noir genre, and from the very first moment, Love Loaded swaggers in, tips its fedora while it's ordering a tall glass of whiskey, and basically invites us to sit down and hear a tale about what people would do for love, the good, the bad, and the deadly. So we then move on to the crux of the matter. As the patrons pour out of the club into the cold LA night air, suddenly there's a gunshot and Jack is lying on the cold hard ground outside his own club. Not dead, presumed dead, but not dead. But someone clearly means to have meant it to be. So Jack, in the interest of his own safety and trying to figure out who would have it out for him, goes into hiding, and it kind of leaves Didi questioning those she regards as either friends or people she thought she could trust as to their possible motives for wanting to kill Jack. And there is a veritable line of people with very clear motives as to why they would want that. But to the point, this then transpires into quite the thrilling, intriguing noir you hope it would be, and it has everything nailed on pretty much that you would expect from something working in this genre. The sights, the sounds, everything, the scheming, the plots, the subplots, it's all there. But Jan Miller Corran isn't content with that. She wants to weave in much more. There's plots of prejudice and gender and social status imbalances, as well as revenge and guilt. All those kind of things are playing along, as well as your intriguing whodunit, as it were. And it's all done with a clear love and affection for everything that makes that genre great, and harks to a lot of the classics that you would expect are there. And I feel like that attention to detail to get everything to feel right is where Love Loaded's biggest strength lies. Another prime example is the key central location of the Club Figaro is almost like being transported back in time to the 50s. It's so fitting, and it just sings noir. There are a couple of other settings that perhaps due to budget constraints don't quite match up and feel a little sparse and less in that vein, but ultimately they are done with everything is done with the maximum effort to make sure you feel as placed in the 1950s LA as you possibly can. And big hats off to everything else that works to that effect. You're talking about the costumes, the hair, the script, the way people sound and talk. Everything is on point to be as authentic as it possibly could be to the era. And all of that is, as if that wasn't enough, all on top of that is what is an amazing cast that fills it all out, plays everything out as fun and as intriguing and as thrilling as you'd want it to be. Obviously, the core story revolves around Didi and her husband Jack. They are the centre and the most important to get right, and thankfully, the film absolutely does get that right. Theirs is a relationship that is as fractured as it is beautiful to watch. They are completely wrong, yet right for each other in so many different ways, and it makes them a really interesting dynamic to stick with throughout the film. There are a couple of roles that don't quite seem to have the impact you would hope for, and those are in the more mafioso gangster type roles. You have a character of the head of essentially a crime family who isn't giving the kind of feeling that you would expect of some kind of danger or menace. That is Katz's Mario Ponzetti, and his fixer Alex, who's played by Adam Bucci. Those don't really feel like as much as a threat as the film maybe intends them to do. But those roles aside, everyone else is a brilliant revolving cast that centres around the central two. We have April, who's played by Erin Chambers. Erin Chambers, and she has been left by Didi, who is afraid of showing her true self, as it were. Thus landing with Jack instead of April, despite their clear affection for each other. On the other side, you have Molly, who's played by Emily Goss, the nurse who's devoted to Jack and his work, but also loves him from afar, which causes nothing but anger in her husband Gary, who that then ties into the whole idea of, could it be them for revenge or resentment? And then you've got, back again to Didi's side, you've got the fellow doctor, Jack's counterpart Richard, who also is completely devoted to Didi from afar. Everyone has a motive, everyone has a reason to be the person behind the gun, and watching it all play out and trying to figure out who it could be is fun from beginning to end. So what I would say is Love Loaded is full of everything that anyone who is an aficionado of the noir genre will appreciate, and anyone who just appreciates great filmmaking, great acting, and great storytelling. It's got something for everyone.